All right, let's get this show going. I'd like to welcome everybody to the October 15th, 2025 regular board meeting. Some housekeeping matters. Pursuant to Board Policy 1B.5, all meetings of the Salisbury Township School District are audio and video recorded. Mouthful. This evening, we did hold an executive session immediately before this for the purposes of board training and personnel matters. And with that said, I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Gaither.
Here.
Mrs. Glenister. Mr. Ganal.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Mrs. Klinger.
Here.
Mrs. McKelvey.
Here.
Mrs. Nemitz.
Here.
Mr. Riccaboni.
Here.
Mr. Spinner.
Present.
We have quorum.
All right. Thank you very much. Any special recognitions or presentations this evening?
No.
All right, we'll keep moving right along. Right into the fun part of the evening. Student representative reports, and we're going to start this evening off with the high school, followed by also from the high school LCTI. So we'll start with Phoebe Ballack and Michael Warder? McWhorter, I'm sorry. I know, and I've
Correcting you, we want to make sure we get it right.
Hello, everyone. I'm Phoebe.
And I'm Michael McWhorter. It's a pleasure to be back. Just keep it in the stand. Might be easier.
This past weekend, the high school hosted our annual homecoming festivities. We had a spirit week leading up to our pep rally, which involved games like human size Hungry Hungry Hippos, knockout, tug of war, the three-legged race, and a cheering contest. Each grade decorated their section of the gym in a theme. We had the Sweet Seniors, Jackpot Juniors, Sophomore Slumber Party, and Freshmen on Fridays we wear pink.
On Friday night at the football game, we announced our homecoming court and revealed the king and queen. So congratulations to our court members, Gianna Circo, Olivia Amorum, Nalene Perez, Reagan Trescott, Anthony Jarjuice, Dylan Jarjuice, Jeshua Caban, and Jamani Cruz. And of course, a special congratulations to our homecoming king and queen, Stephen Lazada and Sarah Beckage, respectively.
You're doing this part. Good.
Okay. On Saturday night, we had our homecoming dance hosted by the 2026 class of advisory. We had a great turnout for a fun night of dancing under the lanterns, and the Salisbury Theater Department will also be performing Harvey from November 6th to 9th, starring me. Make sure to buy tickets now at Homecoming Ticketing to come watch the very funny show. I'm sure you all will love it.
Our fall sports season is wrapping up with a few of our sports moving on to postseasons.
Our field hockey team finished with an 18-1 record and a top seed in both district and colonial leagues. So congratulations to our field hockey seniors as well, Gwen DeFazio and Kendra Morgan, who've both broken the school record, scoring over 100 points throughout their four-year careers, with Gwen also on track to score over 200 points and just a few more.
Cross country is competing in the league championship tonight, or they just did, and will compete in districts later on.
Football has two more games to round out their season, with a home game against Northern Lehigh this Friday, which will also be their senior night, as well as a game against Palisades next Friday. Be sure to cheer them on.
Our winter sports will begin on November 12th.
Our National Honor Society will be hosting a blood drive on November 11th at the high school auxiliary gym. Be sure to stop by at some point and donate blood for a good cause. I promise they're not vampires.
The Stars Club will be hosting Red Ribbon Week, a campaign about drug abuse prevention and awareness, and including October 29th, where all students are encouraged to wear red in support of mental health and suicide awareness, as well as a raffle you can enter by wearing red that day. There will also be a Red Ribbon scavenger hunt for prizes among many other activities throughout the last week of October.
The all-new Painting Hearts Club will begin running on the Day 6 Falcon periods, being founded by junior Aaliyah Ross and advised by Mrs. Dos Santos, with 26 student members already and more constantly signing up. Be on the lookout for more of their upcoming endeavors for great causes.
Sophomores enrolled in AC2 or Honors AC2 will be taking a trip to the Holocaust Museum on Tuesday, October 28th to learn more about World War II.
The Salisbury debate team, including both of us, will be going to our first competition on October 28th, and we will be debating the resolved, the United States federal government should significantly increase public funding for transportation. Be sure to wish us luck.
On a less exciting note, the juniors will be able to take the PSATs next Wednesday on the 22nd.
I don't know, I think PSATs are pretty exciting. The Sewing for Charity Club has extended their lanyard sales until tomorrow, selling lanyards in a variety of colors for just $5 each and raising money for the Salisbury Angel Foundation. They're very close to reaching their $500 goal and are looking to make their donation next week. Be sure to support them.
The first quarter will be coming to an end on Wednesday the 29th, and quarter one report cards will be issued shortly after. Thank you all for listening,
coming,
and we hope you have an amazing week.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll move right into the middle school. Claudelise Perez and, I'm sorry, Ederline Tejada.
Good evening. My name is Ederline and I'm a seventh grader at the middle school. I'm in the Falcon 5 Club. We have many exciting things going on at the middle school. Today, the 8th grade student council members went to DeSales University for a leadership and ethics conference. They got to work with other student leaders from schools in the Lehigh Valley. Our blog club has also been busy, spending time with students from the Autistic Support Classroom by reading together, going on walks, and soon they will be decorating pumpkins and cookies. It's been a heartwarming experience to see the joy that's brought to everyone. Next week, the 6th graders will be going on their annual trip to Bake Oven Knob, where they will enjoy the outdoors, look for birds of prey, and bond with their classmates. It should be a lot of fun. We are also having a successful Spirit Week at SMS. The week dress-up days that brought out everyone's creativity and school spirit. Friday is meme day, and we can't wait to see what students and teachers come up with. Yesterday, we had an anti-bullying assembly. There was a presenter that shared the message of recognize, refuse, and react when it comes to bullying. This was combined with guys doing stunts on bikes. It was really engaging. Lastly, the 7th graders went on the Renaissance Fair on October 9th, allowing us to experience life from that era and learn about history in an engaging way. There's always something exciting happening at the school, and we're happy to share it with you tonight. Thank you for listening and supporting our school community, and we appreciate your interest and hope you join us in our celebrating achievements. Thank you.
So, Eberline, were you there in the one that I sat on the top of the ramp for?
Yeah.
Okay, so fun fact, I'm in the middle school just, walking around, checking things out, and Mr. Parliament says, I need you for a moment. Can you come here? So I walk into the gym, and I get in there, and they're all chanting, I don't know, get on this ramp. I don't remember what you were chanting, but the bottom line was I had to get on top of this 10-foot ramp and sit there while a BMX bike jumped over me doing tricks, and very fun assembly, very engaging, great message about bullying, and it was really fun to see how excited the kids were. Oh my God, there was so much screaming.
All right. So that takes us to the elementary school. Riley Borger and Jack Divers.
Good evening. My name is Riley Borger.
And my name is Jack Divers, and we are both in 3rd grade.
SES has been busy since the last board meeting. We celebrate Health and Wellness Week from September 29th through October 3rd to kick off the PTO Color Run. Students wore different colors of the rainbow all week, and students also had the opportunity to try healthy, colorful snacks during lunch. On September 30th, Pieces of Mind came to SES for an assembly called Your Emotions Are an Ocean to help kick off Health and Wellness Week. During this week, students also had the Students also participated in an obstacle course in our whole school walkathon.
Mr. Molitor's third grade class and Mrs. Ackerman's first grade class raised the most money for the color run and had a blast covering multiple staff members in color powder. The SES color run was held on October 4th. The PTO did a great job running this event. Fun was had by all that attended. The school raised over $15,000. October 10th was Heavenly Hat Day at SES. Students were invited to wear their favorite hat to school. Donations to Heavenly Hat help purchase hats for people who lose their hair due to cancer or medical treatments. School was closed October 13th for staff professional development. We will have a 1:15 early dismissal on October 17th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and that doubles as my student activities report for this evening. So we'll move on to our next stop. If you guys want to stay for the whole meeting, you're more than welcome to. If you guys want to get home and do homework or whatnot,
Empty the dishwasher.
you're more than welcome to head out now.
Worst job ever.
No, the kids can leave. The parents have to stay.
I have homework.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you to the parents, guardians, family members who brought the students out. Appreciate that.
Just wait until I. All right, so we'll continue on here. Next up, any changes or additions to the agenda this evening?
No.
All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And then with that, we will move into citizens' inquiries and comments. We have 3 individuals who have signed up tonight. Just so everybody's aware, we'll go in the order that they came in. So I'll call your name. I'll ask you to come up to the mic so everybody at home can hear, as well as myself. And we'll go from there. So first, and again, everybody has seen my ability to pronounce. What?
Madeline Dilliard.
I know, but there's other. I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to help.
See what I got to deal with up here? I mean, all right, go. You have 2 laptops, 3 laptops. Just work on those. Okay. All right. So first up is Madeline Dillard.
Good evening. My name is Madeline Dilliard, a senior at Salisbury High School, and I've been in the district since 3rd grade. As a graduating senior, I felt compelled to bring a situation occurring in the high school to your attention. As you may be aware, Intro to Statistics is being taught by a new teacher. The class was previously a dual enrollment opportunity through Moravian University and taught by an approved Salisbury High School teacher. Due to the staffing changes in mid-August, this year's statistics course is no longer a dual enrollment option, as the current teacher is not approved and does not have the credentials. That information was not shared with the 46 students taking the class prior to the beginning of the school year, as the opportunity was no longer an option for any of these students. Due to the approved teacher no longer being in the math department, there was no options for changing the teacher schedules to fit my or the 45 other students' needs. This was devastating for me to learn, as I had only taken the class because of the college credit. In the past, Salisbury's Intro to Statistics was approved by Moravian University because of its similar rigor and expectations to their course taught on campus. While I had signed up for the class, I was expecting a college-level math class. The class thus far has not met that standard. In emailing the superintendent, I have been told that the district will, quote, be reviewing their scheduling and communication processes to ensure that course designations such as dual enrollment, advanced placement, and honors are clearly confirmed and shared with the students earlier in the semester in the future, end quote. While I'm glad this will happen in the future, it does not address the current problem. Out of only 17 students I had questioned out of the 46, 11 of them said they would have taken the dual enrollment credit, and 5 of them were interested in learning more about the opportunity. While not all of them had taken the class solely for the credit like I had, many of them had extreme interest or intent for it. Knowing the class was no longer a dual enrollment option or a college-level course would have affected my, or the 45 other students' decision to take the credit. The course, I mean. On Monday, October 6th, I began to fill out the form to sign up for a different dual enrollment credit, Spanish 5, and noticed that Intro to Statistics was listed as an option for this year, which had not been an option the previous week when I had opened the form originally. After speaking with my school counselor and the principal about what I had found, on a side note, while I was emotional in addressing my concerns about this unjust, unfair, and inequitable opportunity, I do not think the response I received from the principal was warranted or professional. I was told that I was being, quote, snotty and demanding, end quote, in both my email and in person. It is unjust that this opportunity was not presented to everyone. I have been given some options by the principal to remedy this situation, such as dropping the class for a study hall, which typically would not be an option this late into the semester, taking a dual enrollment statistics course through LTRI-C, or taking a dual enrollment course through Cedar Crest College. Salisbury currently does not have a partnership with Cedar Crest, but they're willing and currently expediting the process for the spring semester. With Cedar Crest College being my top option for secondary education, I have a suspicion this option was created to entice me and encourage me away from the current situation. However, Cedar Crest does not offer a statistics course. They only offer a general math elective for dual enrollment credit. All of these options fail to address the main problem of the situation, the inequitable education currently being offered. I would hope that in the future, the district will find a solution for the majority and not the minority. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. So our next speaker this evening, Paul Dorney.
All right. Good evening. Thank you. Came here to ask you to consider moving your high school varsity co-ed rifle team into the range that is built into the high school. Currently, you practice at an off-site location. The logistical implications of this are difficult at best for your team. It would be similar to, let me explain it to you, like I heard some of you ask about a football game this weekend. Here's what your rifle team has to deal with. If your football team played every game away from home, if they could not practice any weekend days, if they could not practice any Wednesdays, and the days that they did practice, they had to leave by 5 or 5:30. I'm not real clear on that one, okay? I know pretty much about your rifle team, basically. I coach in the league. I had coached for Salisbury for several years. I'm also a league officer in the league. So if you need to get a hold of me to verify any of this, feel free to contact me through Freedom High School's athletic department or through the league. But here's a couple of things for those of you that don't know. They shoot and practice an Olympic-style sport. It is Olympic prone, okay? This has nothing to do with anything beyond that, okay? Some of your students over the past several years, well, since the existence of the program, have have gotten college scholarships for this. We've had 2 people actually had the honor of serving in the Presidential Honor Guard. The Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts used to routinely use your range with filling out all the permissions to use this facility. So Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, primarily from the troop up Jerusalem Church, used to use this. And quite honestly, the league, the school, nobody's ever had one incident, one injury, nothing. It's never been that way. I did share some information with the president, and so he would have situations and understandings of what we've worked under. For those of you that aren't real familiar, the way we used to have to do it to ensure safety of everything was all ammunition was stored in a safe in the general office, okay? Locked away. Coach would pick it up at the end of the day before practice. The bolts were removed from the location and stored off-site, okay? At times they were with coaches, and at other times they were up at the police. The police were, Salisbury was, very compliant in that, made it accessible. So quite honestly, if there was any fears about non-instructional people or, outsiders getting into it, basically you would have just a piece of metal or wood. That's it. Similar to what your baseball team probably stores their bats and stuff with. Okay? Just a couple of the things, the impacts of this. You had some people talk, students talk about the VOTEC. The way your busing and stuff is set up with, your VOTEC students cannot really participate in this sport. Your students that are sharing sports, or I'm not using the right term here, I apologize for that, but say you had a wrestler who wanted to participate in that, they can't logistically do this. In the past, it was always a part of Salisbury athletics, right? Try to get kids doing more than one sport, right? Some of them it would help a lot. Like I said, you've got a really good coach. Your participation numbers were excellent last year. Judging from the final PIAA roster, you had 24 students, co-ed students there. That's a pretty big size for a team that's not football or soccer or something where you're, putting 11 people on the field. Safety shouldn't be an issue. Your range is real good quality. Air quality system is excellent and stuff like that. It's my understanding that, the range is either used for storage or an office. I ask you this, you have an empty building, right? When I took my grandkids to cross-country practice, whatever you're storing down there, I'm sure doesn't really seem to be worried about air quality, right? You have a whole Western elementary building. Why not use it? The cost of what you're doing, I appreciate that you have this team, but the cost of what you're doing, you could save a whole lot and put a lot of money into something else by just letting them be on campus. Like I said, they're good kids. They're great kids, actually. I ran into some students parents of the students at the cross-country meets down at Southern Lehigh in DeSales. Their son and daughter can't do it because of logistics, So all I'm asking is that whatever safety issues you would need, consider putting them back in the school. As a competing coach, of a Bethlehem team, and as a township resident here, like I said, your coach is excellent. He's a great guy. He's great with all your kids. How many co-ed sports, I think we got to support them. I think you got to support them. Give them a chance to win, because the conditions they're under, I'm impressed that they win like four a year, which is pretty good considering what they're up against. So it's not the boogeyman out there. And like I said, how many other sports could you say since the school district was open have never had one injury? And that's them. Because as people in the league know, and all the students are truly trained in the safety, is that you can't ever afford one injury. Nobody's ever had one. Not in our school, in Salisbury, ever. So You know, I mean, and whatever things you would need to feel comfort, I'm sure, you know, the league and whatever would go along with. But just to consider it, like I said, you would save a considerable amount of money. So thanks for your time. I appreciate that. One last comment off topic, if I may.
Sure.
I've had experience with your bus drivers that run the elementary and middle school runs on Sidersville Road. They're excellent. So I'm sure you get a lot of complaints, but quite honestly, at least the ones I've dealt with there, excellent job, and so very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Our third and final, Adam Segal.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your time. I'm here to talk to you about something that I've noticed over the years, the way our children experience learning. In our schools today, screens have become nearly constant companions. They're used for instruction, assignments, free time, library periods, substitute days, and even for watching movies at the end of every single school day. For many of our students, school has become a place where eyes are on screens far too often. Now, I'm not here to condemn technology. I use computers every day at work. They're essential tools for analysis, communication, and innovation. But what I've seen, both as a former teacher and as a parent who cares deeply about our students' development, is that this balance has been lost. When I taught for 11 years between the years of 2010 and 2021, I found that the more we leaned on screens, the more something irreplaceable began to fade. Students stopped looking up as often. They asked fewer questions. The spark of curiosity that comes from real dialogue, from hearing a teacher's passion, started to dim. I've had students tell me that they used to hate math, hate physics, until we had real conversations that brought those subjects to life. That kind of connection does not happen through a Chromebook or an iPad. And the research backs this up. A 2023 study from the American Academy of Pediatrics, Media in the Young Minds, found that children who spend more than 2 hours a day on screens outside of instructional necessity showed significantly lower attention spans and self-regulation skills. A Harvard University report in 2022, Children and Screens, Understanding the Impact of Digital Media on Learning, emphasized that over-reliance on digital learning tools in elementary grades can reduce motivation and hinder the development of deep conceptual understanding. And according to Common Sense Media's 2023 census, the Common Sense census, media used by tweens and teens, the average screen time for children ages 8 to 12 has risen to over 5 hours a day, much of it during or directly tied to schoolwork. These aren't abstract numbers. They represent real effects on how our kids think, focus, and relate to the world. Screens are not the enemy, but excessive screen use absolutely can be, especially when screens are used as filler, during free time, in the library, or when a substitute is present. Those moments could instead be chances for creativity, collaboration, or reading, experiences that build minds and character in ways no device can replicate. Our children deserve to experience learning that's alive, human, and connected. They deserve teachers whose voices inspire them, classmates they can truly engage with, and classrooms where screens support, not replace, the essence of education. So tonight, I'm asking that the board take a thoughtful look at the role of screens in our elementary, middle, and high school classrooms. Our children's attention, creativity, and connection to the real world are worth protecting. Let's give them back what technology has quietly taken, the joy of truly engaging with life and with learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you all three of you for sharing your thoughts and comments tonight. So with that, we will move on to, can I have a motion to approve the following minutes? The minutes for the Curriculum and Technology Committee meeting from September 17th, regular board meeting September 17th, and the Ops and Finance Committee meeting October 8th.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to payment of the bills. So tonight we have total general fund expenditures, food service, student activities fund, laptops, capital projects funds, and 2 bond proceeds funds. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Treasurer's report. We have several documents in there. Capital account breakdown, Treasurer's report of September 2025, Treasury report expenditure revenue, and as well as the investments. Can I have a motion to approve the Treasurer's report?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Okay, any questions? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
I'm sorry, I'm a nay.
Opposed?
Oh, yes, nay.
Okay, thank you. All right, report to the Secretary of the Board.
Okay, I just have one little piece of information to share with you all. I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but if you all recall, I spoke regarding the law firm that was soliciting homeowners to do appeals. We did have 2 large ones that just recently came up that Jonathan from Kingsbury represented us at. One of the properties consists of 5 properties. It's a professional park. All the buildings have less than 25% capacity filled in that. Used to be a lot of doctors' offices in there, and as the hospitals are putting up all their own buildings, the doctors are moving into those buildings. So they did propose a very low market value. If that does get approved, we will lose $504,000 in revenue from that property alone. This property was in foreclosure and is in receivership, all of those properties, so it is likely that it's going to come in pretty close to what they estimated on there, and Jonathan feels it's valued at $90 million right now. They're saying $46 million. He's feeling it'll come in the $50-60 million range. So we're anywhere from like $350,000 to $504,000 lost on that. He did attend another hearing that also came up on another property with a market value of almost $3.5 million. This one did have appraisals. The appraisals came in anywhere from 2.8 to 3.4. They're recommending 2.3 million, so it's like $1.1 million loss there. If that's approved, we're stand to lose almost $14,000 on that property. Those are the 2 that have recently come up and had board hearings. So we're going to wait and see how these proceed and possibly do an appeal ourselves if we need to. But I just wanted to make you all aware that we're looking at over $500,000 possible loss in our revenue. And if you all recall, last year, our tax increase only brought us in $1.2 million. So half of that is gone if these are approved.
A clarification question for you. You mentioned the first building is largely unoccupied. Does occupancy affect how it's assessed?
The maintenance and the care of the property and the fact that they cannot pay their taxes and probably the mortgages, it's 5 buildings, 5 parcels it consists of, and they are in foreclosure, and it is in a receivership state.
Okay, so it's yes, but indirectly. Okay.
Yes. So they're showing their hardships and what they're having. So it's potential and highly likely it's going to be decreased significantly from its current value. And if at the high end of what Jonathan is estimating, it's a $350,000 loss. If they get what they're asking for, it's a $505,000 loss.
So, go ahead. Oh, all right. So, in regards to the potential, are we looking at contingency plans on how we're going to handle this?
This was just brought to my attention, the hearing. They just had it. There hasn't been discussion on it, but I did make you all aware that there's like close to 30 appeals that were filed. These are six separate, each piece of property was a separate appeal put into one hearing date. So that's 6 of maybe 30 that we've just had. And these are the 2 of the larger. Most of them are homes anywhere with residential. These are commercial properties that just went. The residentials are anywhere from 500 to 1.5 million in those ranges.
Are there other commercial properties on that list still, or are the rest of them home?
All of them are residential. The commercials came up first on their hearing dates.
You know what those potentials are for the rest of them? I'm sorry. The potential for the rest of those homes might be?
No, we do not know until they present what their appraisals came in at, and what kind of proof that they have. So that will be something that, is going to have to be heavily discussed at the time when we know more of what's going on here. This hearing did just take place. It usually does take several weeks before the Board of Appeals hands down their ruling. So at that point, then I'll have more information to share.
So again, follow-up question on this, right? So for right now, we have an anticipated range of what the attorneys are saying that we could see. Are we starting to look, I know you haven't done it yet, but the plan is to start looking at that and see what recommendations are going to come from the administration later on?
So it would be during the budget process.
Okay.
Because we would have a better sense of increased revenue based on, maybe even the South Mall. And then we also have the decreased revenue based on potential appeals.
And when does this take effect if it gets approved?
It all depends on the date that the Board of Appeals sets. Sometimes they set it for, a lot of times they follow the county and the municipality schedule with January 1st. So that means we would have to go retro 6-month refunding for January through June. So we would have to, in this current year, refund 6 months. If they would receive it, it would say it would go into effect for probably January 1st. It all depends on the date that they initially placed their appeal when they filed it. And I know several of these were filed a while ago, and I think they're just inundated with appeals, so they are taking several months to come up.
Any other questions?
Sorry for the bad news.
It's all right.
And in terms of a plan, we wouldn't be looking to reduce anybody or cut anybody mid-year if this comes to fruition. That's why I'm saying next budget cycle.
Okay, yeah, because that's where I was more or less getting to, that's why I asked the second.
It could be an implication potentially for this year, but we're not, we're not planning to reduce staff to cover that 500,000 mid-year.
Thank you.
All righty. Curriculum and technology, Mrs. Klinger.
Okay, I am going to move tonight items 2.1 through 2.4. 2.1 is a special education settlement agreement and release regarding one of our students. 2.2 is approve a temporary medical excusal instruction for a student for a specific amount of time, and this was, the time was designated by the student's physician. 2.3 is a letter of agreement between Valley Youth House and the district to support our students and their families. And 2.4 is to approve the district and building-wide technology software applications. I think we saw them at the curriculum meeting the last time, the whole list. So with that, I will move 2.1 through 2.4. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
All righty, that takes us to Section 3 Operations Committee. Mr. Spinner, one note, Tom, I'm going to ask that 3.1 be a roll call.
All right, so good evening, everyone. As Mr. Ganal just noted, we're going to save item 3.1 for another vote. But tonight, we're bringing forward 4 items for approval tonight, one being 3.2 for the engagement letter with Fox Rothschild. The other item will be, let's see here, as I'm jumping, my eyes are crossing tonight. Apologies. One of those days. We have the per capita changes on item 3.3. 3.4 is a notice to proceed in regards to the CHA with the Salisbury Township School District-wide site concrete improvements. And the other notice to proceed is for CHA for paving improvements for the district. So at this time, I'd like to move items 3.2 through 3.5.
Second.
Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm also an aye. All right, moving back to 3.1, the resolution to withhold a portion of charter school payments until state funding is restored. At this time, I'd like to move the item 3.1.
Second.
Any questions?
Do we want to give a little bit of an explanation of what this is, just so the public is aware?
Sure.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Given that we are well past the 100th day of having the state budget passed, approximately 21% of our funding comes from state revenue. So without a budget, we do not receive that. Therefore, we cannot pass that on to the charter schools. We feel that it's only fair that if we are not receiving the funding, that they should not be able to receive the funding. There are a lot of different perspectives going on amongst all of the school districts, but we believe this is fair and equitable both to the charter schools as well as to the school districts. We can only pass on what we do have, which would be the local portion. So we're recommending withholding 21% of our revenue, and that's based on the revenue as of June 30th, the breakdown that we received for the prior year.
I also want to be explicit that there's nothing in school code that says you can do this. We are recommending this as a fair way of withholding some of the money that we are not getting.
And once the budget is passed and the state releases funding, we will immediately make each charter school whole. So we will be tracking all of this, and we will be sending it as one payment to them when we receive the funds.
Quick question. If they decide, the state decides to give us less, 20% versus 21, what do we respond to that?
This doesn't have any bearing on what the state gives us. This was based off of what we're holding off of a bill amount that we're set to, that we have to pay to them. So regardless of what we get for the upcoming year, has no bearing on the amount that we pay annually per student for the charter school for students. So we're withholding 21% of that amount, and then we will be giving that to them.
I'll also note that we're not the only district that is taking this approach. And I believe, and I guess this is me speaking as myself, it's also a message to the state that, hey, get your budgets in line. I'll say it. I mean, we have hard, fast dates where we have to have ours. It's only fair. So don't expect us to pick up the weight. And if anybody wants to talk about that from the state, you know where to find me.
No, any other questions? All right, so at this time, I'd like to ask for a roll call vote, please.
Sure. Mr. Gaither?
Agreed to pay, or not to pay? I'm sorry.
Yay.
What's a yay?
Nay.
Yay.
So the motion is to approve the resolution that will withhold the dollars.
I approve the resolution to hold withhold.
Okay.
Yes.
Mrs. Glenister? Absent. Mr. Ganal?
Yay.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yay.
Mrs. Klinger?
Yay.
Mrs. McKelvey?
Yes.
Mrs. Nemitz?
Yes.
Mr. Riccaboni?
Yes.
And Mr. Spinner?
Yes.
8 yeses.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Spinner. Let me catch up here on my agenda.
Just like I did.
What's that?
Don't get crossword pages at once. You got 5.
Finance Committee, Mr. Riccaboni, you're up.
Yes. I'd like to move 4.1 to the floor, and I guess I should explain that first before I move it. Is that correct?
Move first.
Move first, okay. There we go. Okay, I'd like to move 4.1 to the floor.
Second.
Okay. 4.1, there was discussion about reviewing our business office, our business practice. We received a proposal, and that is located in our notes and documents. It's from PASPO. It's for $6,500, and that would encompass an all-around review of the business office and practice, including in-depth interviews, review of our processes and systems. At the end, they would provide a detailed report, making recommendations. And so that was a discussion based on some of the great work Dawn's been doing, but also some of the maybe concerns that we previously had about the treasurer's report. So it's a combination of both. So should we take a roll call on this also, or is this?
So open for discussion. I know the board wanted to talk about it previously, so not sure if people still want to talk about it. If not, you can.
Any questions, any comments?
Personally, for $6,500, I think it's worth bringing in somebody from the outside just to kind of check us out. I know, Dawn, you've done a lot of work to try to change processes and procedures, and I give you a lot of credit for that. But I think you know as well as I do that, staffing is an issue in your office. So if we can make anything go smoother for you, I'm hoping, that they can find anything for us, and I'm worried now too. We're gonna have less money, so it's just, trying to look for any efficiencies, and that's not just monetarily, it's also in terms of, time efficiencies. So I think it's a good idea, and it's such a low cost in the scheme of things.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Laura here. I mean, Dawn, I know you've done a tremendous amount of work, and we've made huge steps forward. Again, that something like this for that low of a cost, just to have someone help to do like a check and balance on work processes or anything we can do to find efficiency, help you out, reduce some of your paperwork. Anything we can do there, I think, is worth its weight in gold. But I do acknowledge all the hard work you've put in.
Any further questions or comments? It would be completed within 30 days of its initiation. Okay. All right. All in favor of 4.1?
Aye.
Aye.
I was aye as well. Any nays? Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rigbani. That takes us to Personnel Committee. Mrs. McKelvey.
A number of items, kind of the usual though. So the hiring authority for Lynn, some resignations, 2 IAs, and a coach. We have the retirement of our one of our middle school custodians who's I believe, been with us for a while. And then employment of IAs and some coach employment as well. Additionally, 2 items pertaining to circumstances with students, medical excusal and home tutoring, and some sub-additions. I'd like to move items 5.1 to 5.13. Questions or comments?
Actually, it's around the resignations. Item 5.2, for those who don't know, Mrs. A, who was an instructional assistant that had a lot of experience when it comes to dealing with special ed children, in particular, based off of the letter that she wrote. I'm kind of surprised that we would let that much knowledge kind of walk out our door for that. Given the fact that we're expecting some of our hardest and heaviest loads ever since we brought a lot of special ed students back into the district, when we made, as a board, a conscious decision to go ahead with that based off the recommendations from Tracy Jacoby and the administration. I'm really kind of surprised and taken back by that. So I just wanted to make that note there because, again, with that many kids coming up to the high school here, probably in very short order, and to lose a high school IA that had that training, it's just a real surprise.
I'm happy to discuss that with you offline.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Feel free to reach out, and as any other time, if anyone has any questions about any of the personnel items, I'm always willing to discuss it, but obviously we're not going to discuss anyone's position or potential positions publicly at a board meeting.
I do kind of want to second this, and I know some of the background here. For those of you that don't know, Erin Alulis was Lucas's TSS, which is a behavioral support person. They're called something else now, but for many years, she literally has decades of experience working with kids with behavioral issues. And while I think we do a reasonably good job training our IAs, training never beats experience. And she's not the only IA I'm aware of this year that has resigned because long-term IAs, right? IAs with lots of experience a lot of time here. She's not the only one I've heard of resigning because, we have decided this is the thing and then there's no wiggle room there. And I understand unions are involved. I understand that, sometimes you really need somebody over here and you do not need somebody over there where they would prefer to be. And I get all those pieces work together, but I think we really need to be examining, whether or not we're doing enough to retain our people, especially the ones that are really good. And, I know a lot of IAs, and most of them are okay, but, the purpose of an IA isn't just to be a body that we can get there. That experience, that training, the love that some of these people have for these kids, they're like their kids. That really is valuable to this district. And, for some of our longer term employees, I think we need to, we do have a better starting wage, which I'm really glad we do, but we need to look toward retention as well and where we can be flexible to meet the needs of, of our instructional assistants.
So I'm just going to follow up with that to make sure everybody understands. To be flexible to meet the needs of our instructional assistants might look like some instructional assistants want to work certain days of the week. Some instructional assistants might have second jobs. Some instructional assistants might want to work additional hours. We were accommodating a lot of additional hours during COVID because we didn't have all of the positions filled. So we might have had a student or an assignment that had 2 or 3 people with an hour here, an hour there, and those instructional assistants had the opportunity to pick up more hours. When we were able to increase the wage, the natural consequence was we were able to increase the number of employees we were able to hire. We're just about full at this point, and we were able to go back to our 4 hours per person for the most part. And and 2 people together gave us 8 hours, so we have some overlap between those IAs, 4 plus 4, 8. There's a little bit of overlap over the student day of 7 1/4, and that gave us time for lunch duty and some other paperwork things for IAs. So if an IA wanted extra hours, we can't just provide extra hours. We would have to post a 5-hour position, or we would have to come back to the board and say, we want to create full-time positions instead of part-time positions. Then the challenge of that is you add the health benefits. And so there are a lot of factors, as Laura alluded to it, and certainly retention is very important, and we don't want to lose any of our IAs. They're here not because we just need a body, but because we need them to provide services to kids and support them in classrooms. Many of them support and allow for the level of inclusion that we have, meaning they go from a special education classroom into a regular education classroom to support students, or even up to LCTI. We have some who go to LCTI. So I recognize that challenge. I'm really happy to say that we have almost all of our IAs filled. So we have been able to hire some quality people based on that increase in wage.
Can I ask a question? I know that most other school districts have at least some IA positions that are 29 hours a week. Because I've looked around quite a bit, and at least schools in the area, there's, I think, possibly all of them except us, but don't hold me to that, do have at least some positions that are 29 hours. Why don't we opt for that?
So we would be paying approximately 30% more for every one of our IAs if we increase them from 20 hours to 29 hours.
That's not quite what I'm saying. I'm saying that, could we have some of both? I don't know. Other people make the schedule work. That's. I'm not trying to.
We could absolutely, believe me, if I told the principals we're going to make everybody 5 hours instead of 4, they'd say yes. Yeah. Tracy would jump up and down, but we have to pay for it.
No, I understand that, but we could reduce the number of employees too, which would make staffing easier, right? If we could find ways to, and I understand that doesn't work in every case, right? And I'm not trying to pretend that it does, but in certain situations, we might be able to take 4 20-hour employees and turn it into 3 29-hour, employees. It's just something to consider, because it would also attract, some people probably only want the 4 hours a day, but some people may want a little bit more and may want the extra money and, would be more interested in the job, and then we'd be competing a little bit more directly with, East Penn down the street from my house and, all that Bethlehem up the street from Joe's house. And, it's just something for us to think about. Are there other patterns that we could utilize that would address some of these issues?
Yeah, and I'm not opposed. We're always open to thinking about different things. And we're fortunate at this point, the positions are filled. So regardless of, the challenges that we've experienced, and we've lost a couple of really good people. There's no doubt that you've lost some experience and some training, and we've had an opportunity to gain a couple of some really good people too. So we're glad that they're coming to us.
I don't want to get us too far in the weeds here of how the administration and leadership is kind of picking and choosing, but I understand Laura's point and Tom's point greatly. And I think it's great that we bring it to the awareness of, all right, let's look at things a little differently. If they have a need, let's talk about it. Right now, the administration seems to be saying this is what's working, but I do understand what Laura is saying. If we want to make a position more attractive, let's look at adding hours to it so it could be a little bit more competitive out in the marketplace. So I just don't want us to get too far in the weeds here. And unless anybody else has any other questions that are at a high level.
I just have one question, and hopefully make this simple, but with more IAs, less hours individually, doesn't that give you greater option to use them when there's an absentee and stuff like that versus put them longer term and now they're now available when they take time off? That's the other side of the coin, I think.
Yeah, more people does give you flexibility. Every situation we come up with could have pros and cons, but certainly it does give us flexibility. We do have times where people do cover. We try to work with IAs to give them assignments that are, rewarding and that they want to do. Certainly, some assignments are more desirable than others, and when people express concerns, we also try to work with them about their assignments and even about alternate positions that might be available in the district.
All right, I think we need to vote here, don't we? Okay.
No.
Hold on,
This is still discussion, yeah.
I second it. Yes.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, so, and this, as a reminder, was items 5.1 to 5.13. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Any opposed? All righty.
All right. For the record there, we were checking to make sure we had a second. I was the second on that, just so it's documented out there. Since Mrs. Glenister is not here this evening, I will handle the policy committee portion of the evening. So we have several policies up for final reading and adoption. We're in the 200s here, people, so we're making our way through things quite nicely.
Slowly. It feels very slow.
Do I need to read all these?
No.
Okay.
They're all public.
So there's a bunch of them on here. And so I will move item 6.1. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Thought?
Sorry, I just have a quick one, just to make sure I'm reading it correctly. So policy 218.3, which is on the discipline of student convicted, adjudicated of sexual assault. Just to make sure I'm understanding, if the student is convicted of some sort of sexual assault on another student, the board is going to be essentially required now to either put the student somewhere else or expel them, and they will not be in the same building as the victim. Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. I think. I'm sorry, say that again.
Microphone. Sorry. For the people at home.
My apologies. We need to keep them separated in toto. Transportation, extracurricular activities, and in the school building itself.
And I may have just missed this, and I apologize if I did. If we're in an intermediary period where there has been an accusation made, but no conviction yet, how is that handled? Like, do we have a policy on that, I guess is my question. Is it typical to have a policy on that?
In my experience, you don't have a policy on that, but you do have a procedure where you may have safe plans to keep the students separated. You might have them sit at different parts of the cafeteria, or maybe walk different ways to class so that they don't come in frequent contact with each other. But in terms of having to physically separate them out of the building, we need an actual conviction, and it's not a conviction on every sex offense. It's only on those that are specifically
that are listed
enumerated.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I just wanted the clarification from my own, knowledge.
Sure,
Thank
no
you.
problem.
Any other questions? That's a great question now. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions, comments? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I was an aye, sorry.
That's all right. Generally, if we don't hear any nays, we assume everybody's an aye. So that takes us to the first reading, 6.2. I can't say we're in the 200s anymore because we're in 100s, 200, 300s, and 600s. So we're all over the place on these first readings. And there's across several areas here, ranging from extracurricular activities to diabetes management, fiscal objectives, budget planning, budget stuff all around, tax collection, bank accounts, and tuition. So this is kind of a smattering of a bunch of different policies. So I will move 6.2. Can I have a second?
Second.
Oh, we don't have to vote on this. I'm sorry.
First reading.
First reading, so they have been read.
The nil?
You don't say it that way.
When, you could say it however you want.
I mean, you say-
123.
It's an acronym. Okay.
Can we just move on?
No, okay, so, no. We're gonna, so policy 123, correct, is actually something I just wanted to point out to everybody. This is something that is the world we live in today, but we will now have a policy on NIL, which is name, image, and likeness, which is interesting, just so that this is something that we have to plan for. So if anybody has any questions or wants to dive deeper in that, please feel free to talk to me, talk to Mrs. Glenister. But it is the policy that we're using is actually was originally written by PASBA. So it's something that we're adopting that other schools are doing as well. So any other questions about that? Okay. So then that jumps right to the student activities report, which I mentioned before. The kids took care of it for me, so thank you very much, kids. And that takes us to the reports section of the evening, and that's the first up there is the CLIU and Mrs. McKelvey.
Because of the timing of things, the board has not met since our last meeting, so I do not have a report tonight.
All righty. And next up, and I believe we have Mr. DeFranco online.
Yes, you do, Joe. I'm here.
How you doing, Sam?
Good. In regards to L-Tri-C, as Lori said, the quirk of the schedule, I only had one meeting. That was on October the 9th. My next meeting will be a committee meeting next Monday on the 20th. At our meeting, we reviewed fall attendance, which Having report head count was up 1.5%. Hours count was down 0.5%. The growth was due to dual enrollment and guest students. Guest students are students that actually attend L-Tri-C that are not going there for graduation. Otherwise, we were flat, and believe it or not, flat is actually positive and improvement. So we continue to look at things we're doing to get students to return and attract new students, and are investing in that, and it seems we're seeing some positive momentum in that front. The other big part we talked about and dominated the conversation is really the state budget. And the latest offers from the governor is at $50.25 billion versus 47.7. But the problem with that is if you wait long enough, estimates become real revenue dollars. And it seems the latest revenue estimate from what the state has received has now gone down to $46.6 billion, actually $1.1 billion less than estimated. The problem with that is that we seem to be stuck at a stalemate. Republicans said they're willing to spend 100% of all revenues received and nothing more. So at this point, there seems to be no movement on either side. The feedback we got from our contacts in Harrisburg, where if there's not a deal done by this week, Columbus week, by the end of it, by the weekend, we won't see anything until after Thanksgiving. So we'll see what transpires in that front. Not good news, but it is what it is. We discussed, reviewed our Middle States project, which is proceeding successfully. Everything has gone extremely well. At the end of this program will be in 2 years, in the spring of 2027, we have a Middle States on campus to go through that process for certification. We also did have an executive session where we reviewed quarterly legal matters for the prior quarter. And that's my report. Any questions? Thank you.
Actually, I think we got one question, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Sure, go ahead.
This is Ian. Was there any resolution to the ghost student issue that you talked about, where there was the false enrollments that were coming?
Well, that continues. What we've done is we have actually bought computer programming as well as set up processes. So we feel that this head count is good. Now, we go back to 2024 where we feel our numbers are clean, and you got to get the clean, and then you can actually measure the programs you have at that time. So we feel our numbers are clean, or as clean as they can be. I mean, we reject it's in the thousands, the number of students that we find to be ghost students are not real, not there. This is a plague. And if other colleges are not working diligently, they're left with a lot of receivables that they'll never be able to get collected. So we have an active program. We actually invite other colleges and universities to come to our school and learn from us and show them what we're doing and why we think where we're at is a very good point. So, but we have a really good partner, and we use their software. Plus, there's physical practices you can do to help identify them that we have down that combs through it a second time. So, yeah, we have resolution for that at L-Tri-C. As far as other universities or colleges, they have to speak for themselves. But it is a problem that's out there and hasn't gone away yet. Does that address your question?
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions?
All
Well,
right.
thank you.
Thanks, Sam. So that takes us to LCTI and Mrs. Nemitz.
Hey, thank you. I just have a few things to share tonight. Our last meeting, what month is this? This is October. Our last meeting was at the end of September. As of the August 30th enrollment data, Salisbury has 115 students at LCTI this year, which is about 4.5% of the student body, so we're right about where we typically are. And we also have 12 students that remain on the wait list for seats and programs. Last month, we also reviewed the calculation of all of the JOC seats. So there are 21 members of the JOC from the 9 sending districts. The distribution is based on the state tax equalization board's market values. So we just received the 2024 data in July of 2025, and we didn't make any changes. So the allocation of seats is the same. Parkland has 6, Allentown and East Penn have 4, Southern Lehigh has 2, and all the other districts have 1 seat. And then for everyone to mark their calendars, open house is Thursday, November 20th from 6 to 8 p.m., and senior recognition night will be Thursday, May 28th. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Glenister is not here this evening, so we won't get an update from the PSBA. Ms. Roddick, do you have any?
No report.
All righty. And that takes us, we could skip over the superintendent report.
Why not?
Take it away.
All right, so celebrating our facilities team, October 2nd was National Custodian Day. October is also Thank a Principal Month, so recognizing our building leaders. Thank you for being here tonight and being with us in our schools. Oh, I'll never tell. They're all my favorite, just like your children, right? We're very lucky to have a team with very diverse skill set. So glad to have them. I had a chance to, one of the things that Kingspry offers is every year education webinars for their clients. So I found these really interesting, and we typically send somebody to attend, and then we take the slideshow and load it up and share it with everybody else. So everybody gets the benefits. Only in the district, Christine, only in the district. But Dawn and I were on one related to residency and homelessness and updates and changes in our obligations. So important to show that continuing education. Also had a chance to participate in algebra tiles. Did you all know there were such a thing as algebra tiles? So if you look in that picture, those red and blue manipulatives, sort of like the base 10 blocks with the singles and the tens and the hundreds, that blue one, the largest one there, is an x squared. So really interesting professional development related to math, trying to make math visual for our learners. Also participate in the Lehigh University Study Council, where I attended a session related to collaboration and a collective effort in our current landscape of education. Thanks to all of you.
Is that a familiar face on that slide?
This one?
The Lehigh University one. Who's speaking?
No, he is not a familiar face.
Okay.
He's an outside consultant. These are all familiar faces. thanks to everybody who participated in the homecoming and to the high school team who put it together, the building leaders, Mrs. Salaby. Who else should I be mentioning, Ms. Morningstar? Mrs. Zettelmoyer and Mrs. Adams, yes. So thank you to the team. It was a lot of fun. Love this. Our music got our marching band got some love from Tamaqua on one of their Facebook pages, and Chris shared it with us, and it made us proud. They mentioned how our marching band came over to see them and supported them. I participated in the Salisbury Township Comprehensive Plan Stakeholder Survey, so I don't know if any of you participated or signed up to participate.
I did.
But you did already? Great. So if you haven't, you can still give input, so encourage our residents to do so. They, ask some questions. What makes Salisbury a great place to live, work, and learn? Wanted to talk about what would you want to see as improvements in the township? How does the township and district work together? We talked about that. This was you heard about the anti-bullying assembly, so that's the guy that jumped over my head. Want to also make the board aware that we are going to implement 3-hour delays for Keystones. Did that go out already? I wasn't sure. Not yet. So, not till December. Okay, so lots of challenges with the 2-hour delay, and Heather and the team said, can we go to virtual days and, or other options. So we're going to try a 3-hour delay. There are several other districts who have tried this with success. It allows the kids to still go to LCTI. It allows us to still serve lunch. It may not solve our coverage issues for the Keystone exams. We may be looking at an alternate plan, but we're going to try that for this year. We hosted coffee and conversation here this morning, so thanks to Dawn for participating in that. The township, you can see the township manager there, Kathy Gorman, as well as Don Sabo. We also had Lieutenant Casey, Officer Nostine, and we had quite a few residents show up to talk about a variety of topics, so thank you to them for participating. Bless you, and that is all I have.
Lynn, can I just say one thing again? I just wanted to give credit to Heather Morningstar and the group that put homecoming together. Did another fantastic job this year. The parade was a lot of fun. The pep rally was hysterical as always. They do a great job, and I just want to let them know that they, deserve some props.
Thank you for that, Tom.
All righty then. That takes us to new business. I have something for new business, unless anybody else has something first.
I actually have a question. Do we monitor automatically how many hours an individual machine is being used? Like, I have a thing on my phone. I know how long my children are on their phones, tablets.
So you're talking about like the laptops?
Yeah. Do we know how long the kids are on the laptops a day? Like, is that something
I don't know how long every kid is on a laptop.
I'm not asking you personally. I'm saying, is that information that we could get?
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what we could get. Let us talk about internally and see what we might be able to do.
All right.
So people can't hear you at home, and
yes. So, or we could just take this question later, and we'll come back to it and bring an answer back to
that. Might be a good piece of information to have, to even look at it, by grade, because I think, I don't know, this is my opinion. It's one thing when 11th graders are on their computers doing work. It's a different thing when it's a second grader. So, I'm just curious about it.
Yeah, so when we first rolled out the implementation of the one-to-one, and I want to say this goes back to
it's like 2015.
I was going to say 16. When we did that, we implemented walkthroughs. So every administrator visited every classroom for 10 minutes every month. And we took a sampling. I mean, it wasn't scientific. It was just, this is what we can do. And the question was, were we using the technology too much at that time? And it came back that students were using it about 50% of the time. And that was based on a pretty large sample set. So, we haven't done that since then.
Yeah, I just think it would be interesting, and I did earlier this year talk to a charter school parent who said that one of the reasons she sends her kid to a her actual multiple children to a charter school is because of the amount of screen time that's spent at Salisbury. So
That's so interesting, because no parent has said that to me yet.
I can.
That's one individual.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I think most parents are concerned about screen time with their kids, going back to citizen comments, and just if it would be easy for us to get that data, I think it could be useful.
We'll talk about it internally.
All right, so anybody else have anything else for new business? Otherwise, I'll take the floor on this one. So everybody's aware, or if you're not aware, the municipal election is forthright coming in the beginning of November. Several board seats are up for election. There is the chance, due to how the ballot is written and how the people multiple positions that are on there, that will leave us with one seat vacant. So in preparation, and this is not by any means, we're just trying to be ready to operate right away and expedite the procedure after the election. We'll have questions ready if anybody would like to apply for the open seat. I'm going to let Lynn speaking, because I could already hear staring daggers in my eyes saying telling me I'm doing it wrong. So go ahead. Why don't you just...
So just to clarify, it is possible as a result of this election that when you hit board reorganization in December, there will be a vacancy on the board. So after there is a vacancy on the board, you have 30 days to appoint someone. So you could wait until that vacancy exists and then start the process of trying to appoint someone. You have to do it in 30 days, so you'd have to realistically do that before the winter break. Or you could say tonight, if we have that vacancy, if that actually does exist as a result of the election on December 3rd, we could have, after the election, we could anticipate the vacancy, and we could send out an interest survey to people who may want to apply to be interviewed as candidates. Last time we did this, we allocated 15 minutes for each interview. We shared the questions ahead of time. Tell us why you're interested in serving on the board. What are challenges and strengths of the district? Describe your decision-making process. And is there anything else you would like to share at this time? So if we wait until November to see the official and unofficial results, we could then send this information out and have interviews that night, the night of the reorg.
Everybody good? Okay. So one of the things they don't tell you when you're president of the school board is you have to have really good peripheral vision, so you can tell when your superintendent is giving you the evil eye about saying something incorrectly. Anyway, so there are a host of other reports here for everybody to review at their own leisure and time. Our upcoming meetings, we have an Ops and Finance November 5th. We have a curriculum and technology. We have an executive session on the 19th of November, and then we have a curriculum and technology meeting followed by the regular board meeting on the 19th as well. So with that, I will adjourn.
Thanks.